So, what was your inspiration for Seven Sign?
Well, I started out as a boutique. And I started a boutique because I was traveling a lot and I was never home with my kids. And they had to kind of raise themselves. Like, I'm a drug and alcohol interventionist, and that takes me all over the country. And I love it. But I felt like I was always with somebody else's family, helping them. And not paying nearly enough in my kids. So I started the boutique, and then it's just a struggle financially to keep that going. I realized I was just having to work more. I quit that work for a year to just try to make the boutique work. I thought I couldn't really afford to hire people, and I thought I just needed to run it myself all the time.
Right.
And a couple things, I realized quickly that was not a wise decision. I definitely should have kept my day job because it wasn't going to pay the bills, and I ended up in more debt. But also, I found out that you can't really outrun your calling. Like, it's just it's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I ended up doing 4 interventions in my boutique that was in New Albany, and running a women's group for a local treatment center, like a women's a group for young girls who have body image disorder. So they would come in. I opened late on Tuesdays. They'd come in, and we did what's called a process group, where the therapist brought them over, and me and the therapist ran a group. They would try on clothes, and they pick out something for themselves, and then somebody else would pick out something for them. Usually something they'd never pick for themselves.
Right.
And a lot of times they'd be triggered, which is what we were aiming for, because if we could walk them through that trigger, we could maybe keep them from relapsing over that when they leave treatment, because so many women are using drugs because they're trying to be skinny, and they know what to grab a hold of when they leave treatment, but what we were hoping for is to trigger them while they were there, so we could walk them through that feeling and make a plan, a relapse prevention plan. What are you going to do when that happens outside of here? Who do you call? It was healthy in so many ways, because so many of the women they didn't have deep female connections. So it was an opportunity for them to bond with the women that they were in treatment with, and to feel what they were missing. And hopefully motivate them then to try to create those bonds, either in the 12-step community or whatever support group they had, something like that. Because women are so competitive. Women do not dress for men. Women dress for other women. It's all a competition, unfortunately. And society has kind of created that, I think. Anyway, the short of it is that I loved that part of it, but it got me. I realized quickly that I needed something that had more meaning than selling clothes. And I'd always wanted to do a coffee shop. I'd always wanted to have a coffee shop in recovery. Coffee's a big thing. It's all we have coffee syrup. It's strong coffee and BC powder is a thing in the South when you're in recovery. So I still had all the inventory. I closed down. I wanted to move back to Pontotoc, but I was broke. I had ruined my credit at that point. I had borrowed money that I owed back, and I needed to get back to work so I could try to get caught up. So I went back to work and got back on the road. And this time, I'm not quitting that to do this. And my kids are my baby girl's a senior now. So that whole, I missed it. I missed the chance to be home. But when I talked to my kids about it, they wouldn't change a thing, which is interesting to me. Over the years, we've talked about it though, and I'd say to them, look, I don't care. I'll make $8 an hour and be here next day and never miss another thing. It's always important to them to, I was saying this to somebody yesterday at a church I went to. I always expected my kids to be embarrassed of my history when I got out of church. When I got clean, they were 12, 6, and 4. And I don't remember which one it was, but I remember one of my kids asked me if I'd come speak at the school for Red Ribbon Week, the drug awareness thing that they do at school. And I just was taken back by that because I just expected that they would be ashamed, embarrassed to have a mom that was a drug addict, and they never ever have been. They've always seen it from a perspective of what God was able to do, and never just the raunchy humanitarian, defect that I felt like, that
Yes,
they didn't see me the way I saw it. They've always just seen what God was able to do with the situation and the people that it's at. So I've been very fortunate with that.
So God's a very big part of your life.
Yes. God is a big part of my life. That spiritual connection. I've struggled over the years with what does that mean to me. I'm over religion. I'm over it. And I don't even know. I'm still in this search. I'm trying to figure out what that means too. Because when I got out of treatment, I went to a local church and I was very much embraced by that community, and they loved on me and built me up, and I was shocked by that because I had always kind of believed that church people were kind of judgy, and that is not the experience I was having with them at all. And so I had come from it. My history is very dark. Just but I didn't know a lot of goodness growing up, like just violence, and people were hateful and out to get each other, and that's just how I thought the world was. And then I was introduced to these little rays of light, just people loving on each other, and it was a new concept. And I remember when I was in treatment, someone said to me, "You can never do anything to separate yourself from the love of God." And I had never been told that in my life. I always just saw God as like this police officer God waiting on me to do something wrong so he could strike me down. and it wasn't the experience I was having. So I embraced it wholeheartedly with everything I had, and I spoke in churches and schools, and then over time, I began to notice that I can't remember the first time I allowed myself to see it, but I do know that slowly over time I began to watch how this same thing that had been offered to me was not always readily available for everyone. I noticed that you kind of had to look a certain way or act a certain way. Here I was a covered meth addict, but I'm white, and I hadn't lost all my teeth, and I wasn't sleeping with I didn't have mixed kids sleeping with a black guy, and that sounds horrible, I know, but that's how I saw it. I saw it as this is my belief. It seemed like you had to be someone who they would feel okay being seen to receive that kind of love and acceptance. Otherwise, you looked like somebody they might talk about, and so people might talk about them for being seen. And I didn't like that. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was slowly began to chip away at my faith. And that's because I had put my faith in God. I had allowed that to happen, which is something I thought I'd never do. And because I did not trust people. and I knew better. I knew better than to trust people. People
Right.
are people. But it felt good to be able to trust people. And I feel like I bought into something. And I say that, and then that makes it sound like they're all horrible people, and they're not horrible people. What they are is they're stuck in a system. They live in a community where that's how it is. I mean, you either in or you're out. You're either accepted or you're kicked out of the clubhouse. And when you live in a tiny community, getting kicked out of the clubhouse is painful because it's very lonely. I know this because I'm kicked out of the clubhouse.
So what if you could just sit there and you could tell everybody that's trying to work their way through recovery or even thinking about it, what kind of inspiration could you give them? Like, if you could speak to all of them at once, what would you tell them? Just from your own experience.
I would say that as long as there's breath in your body, there's hope. And I would say that recovery is not for sissies. It's not easy. You cannot do it alone. You have to have community. You have to have other people who support you, who are willing to call you out. And most of all, you got to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to allow someone to see the good about it. I think that our greatest fear, all of us, in recovery or not, is that if others could see who you truly were, there's no way they can help us. And we have to be willing to risk that. We have to be willing to put it out there. And allow them to leave us with us.
Miss Angie Garrett
Yes.
from 7 South. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Okay, so now what?
So, for people in this community, and obviously on the outskirts and whatnot, what would you tell them about this place, about 7 South?
Okay, so we were just talking about how Seven South is a place that's laid back. It's laid back where these people come in and they write on the walls, they draw, they make it personal to themselves. It's a piece of theirs. They don't have to be perfect here. And you know what? I think that's the biggest thing about about my being open about being in recovery is that it allows other people to talk about their stuff. And I learned that I did learn that. Early in recovery, I found out that if I admit that I'm imperfect, it gives everybody around me permission to be imperfect also. And that is where connection happens. So I think that if I had to say anything about 7 South, if I wanted the community to know something, it's just a place that you can come and be yourself. And if you're struggling with something, let us know. And I don't, if we can't help, we know somebody who can. There's always, I don't know, I think that so many times people feel like there's nowhere to turn. I think the biggest reason for that is because we believe that other people see us the way we see us.